In a quick video today, we're going to be talking about the new cantrip that was added with patch 8. I'm sorry, that is added when patch 8 comes out in Booming Blade, Booming Voice, Booming, there's a boom, boom, shaboom, Booming Blade, that's what it's called. I'm the best content creator known to man. And in this video today, in my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge of my video, I'm going to be talking about how the Booming Blade cantrip, which is going to be accessible to, I think, Wizard and Sorcerer, and then eventually Eldritch Knight, because it is a arcane cantrip, is drastically going to change the game for the Eldritch Knight to make it go from a pretty solid subclass. You know, initially when BG3 came out, everyone kind of like poo-pooed on the Eldritch Knight, but it has risen to prominence in a lot of the more recent patches, but especially now where you'll get upwards to 4 or 5 attacks playing an Eldritch Knight. We'll be able to go through that here today. But that's too long, didn't watch this entire video. If you already know about Booming Blade and how it does thunder damage and it's a cantrip, or using the Eldritch Knight's capabilities to get additional attacks, then this video is just, I want to be respectful of your time. You're going to already know what I know. But if that's all you want to know, please feel free to shut the video down and get back to enjoying that hype towards patch 8. Before you head out, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe if this video did indeed end up helping you. And as always, guys, don't forget to check me out on Twitch, where I will be streaming this game as well as plenty of others in the link and description. I'm sorry, there's a link in the description, the pinned comment below. But let's get started here on how the Eldritch Knight is going to become absolutely broken in patch 8. So to start us off, let's talk about the fighter and on just a high level here. I'm not even in a high level, but we know that every single class gets an extra attack. That is a melee oriented, well, there are classes that get extra attack because a rogue doesn't get certain things. Do they get extra attack? No, I can't remember, man, dude. Like, why do I even make these videos anymore? Yeah, okay, so rogue doesn't get the fight. He doesn't get extra attack. God, I'm so good at this game. So they get, fighter gets extra attack. Plenty of other ones get extra attack, which means that when you use a primary action, you get to make another attack action, correct? Well, you also have action surge, which is going to give you an additional primary action. Of course, this has the caveats of having to rest and so on and so forth. But we're talking about a character that has not, that is just freshly arisen from a rest. Now, very few people get to this point, but a level 11 warrior has improved extra attack. You can make 2 additional attacks instead of 1 after using the attack action. So this gives you a ton more attacks as a pure warrior. We've always said, right, that a fighter that goes into Battle Master is a very good pure fighter character. Well, now the Eldritch Knight is about to get a real good improvement. So let's take a look at this brand new cantrip that's being added in. It's Warlock as well. Warlock as well. Sorry, I mean, I error in the opening. So Booming Blade is a cantrip that is evocation, which you know as a Eldritch Knight you'll get access to. It allows the caster to strike with their melee weapon, dealing further damage if the target moves afterwards. Strike with your weapon, afflicting your foe with a resonance that hurts them for 1d8 thunder when they move. So the damage is normal weapon damage, which is essentially a full-fledged attack, plus 1d8 thunder. Now, what you don't see in here is, it doesn't show it here, but, oh, here it is. Since this cantrip uses a weapon attack roll, it qualifies for extra attack, meaning when you go ahead to use it, it will be a cantrip, so it's not going to use your spell slots. It will trigger as if you had done a just naked primary attack, and then you can do a follow-up attack with it. That's with 1 primary action. That's huge. So you have the ability to really get an additional primary action on board with a potion of haste, using your action surge, whatever it is. And there you go. But if we look at improved extra attack, we can do this twice, right? So we get the ability to really pull out of it. Now, unfortunately, I have not been able to put it through its paces because I don't have access to the, whatever this is called, the stress test. So I don't know if you can do cantrip, weapon attack, cantrip, weapon attack, cantrip, weapon attack if you've got 11 levels into Eldritch Knight. If you can, that is really damn good. Now, I'm not 100% certain too. I'm pretty sure, you know, evocation. So if we're evocation, we go with a Eldritch Knight. Eldritch Knight gets access to cantrips, spell schools of abjuration, evocation. So it should work. It doesn't say it in that list. My own comfort, like who I've asked, has confirmed it for me. So I am not 100% positive, but even if you can't, it is a cantrip you could still get from these feats, which would be worth it. So if we were to take 11 levels into Eldritch Knight, we get this stupid strong cantrip. And on top of it, at character level 5, the damage increases. Normal weapon damage plus 1d8 plus 2d8. At character level 10, the damage increases to 5 to 40. 2d8 plus 3d8. And keep in mind, too, this says character level, not class level, meaning I don't need to be 10 levels of Eldritch Knight to trigger this. My character just needs to be a cumulative 10 levels. Remember the difference between character and class level. So why this is also additionally important is the amount of items that you can trigger off of Thunder. You can play with the gloves of belligerent skies. There's a tons of things that work with resonance, which is the Thunder's conditional thing. It's called resonance, right? Right. Sources, thunder damage. So Boots of Stormy Clamor here. Those will play with this. Where is the other one? The Necklace of Elemental Augmentation, because this is a cantrip. Remember that. And what's nice too is a lot of items that trigger off of cantrips, which is really, really fun to play around with. Drake Throat Glaive, which is going to add an elemental enchantment onto a weapon, so you can add further thunder damage onto your weapon. Or if you wanted to use the Mako Shako Shekashir, you could further increase your thunder shenanigans with it, and then just take it off and swap it around. So you have a lot of ways that you can play around with this thunder characteristic from just this capability. And like I said, if you're getting 5 attacks, no spell slot usage, it gives you so much potential. And keep in mind too, you're an Eldritch Knight. So what does the Eldritch Knight also get? Well, when they get to level 8 or 9. Nope. Where's War Magic? Aha. Yeah. You have honed your body and magic for war. After you cast a cantrip, you may make a weapon attack using a bonus action. So if you're keeping count, we're a level 11 Eldritch Knight. We have got 3 primary attacks that we're using because we're opening up with the very first one being a cantrip that is a weapon attack, right? So that's going to do 3 attacks. Now, War Magic here, after you cast a cantrip, remember the cantrip that we just talked about is a weapon attack. You can make a weapon attack using a bonus action. Unfortunately, you do not get to trigger that into additional extra attacks. Keep in mind, too, that this says the attack granted as a bonus action via this feature does not activate extra attack, and no cantrip exists in the game, which functions as a weapon attack. That is no longer the case. So we get access to a real fun situation. War Magic at level 7. I'm so sorry. I thought it was level 9 or 8. So even just level 7 to get that turned on for this character is really good. You could stop at level 7 and do 5 levels into Blade Song and Blade Singing and have a really destructive character. I've told you guys many times that my very first build I'm going to be doing is a Jedi build of some sort using the Blade Singer. And now this just feels like a shoe-in to just get a destructive amount of thunder damage onto this character with 7 levels into Eldritch Knight and 5 levels into Blade Singer. Because remember how we have this all that works, right? You used to cast Blade Song, replenish on long rest, invoke the Blade Song, you gain proficiency bonus to armor class, and your movement speed is increased by 10 feet. You also gain advantage in acrobatics and a proficiency bonus on Constitution saving throw, which is always great. And training in War and Song, proficiency with light performance, you gain proficiency with daggers, sickles, so on and so forth. More casts of Blade Song, you get extra attack. We don't need that. An additional Blade Song, when you make damage with your Blade Song, you can expend a spell slot to subtract 5 damage. And Blade Song itself, invoke the Blade Song, you gain all of your armor bonuses. You can unlock Blade Song Climax and the ability to accumulate Blade Song charges in combat. You just have to keep this in mind. You can't wear medium or heavy armor or shields while blade singing, and you must be wielding a dagger, longsword, rapier, scimitar, or short sword or sickle. So you're not going to be throwing this into a big, like heavy armor wielding Eldritch Knight. This is, again, a Jedi build. I want to be in as little armor as possible. And if I look at Blade Song Climax, unleash the full damage and healing effects of your Blade Song. Your Blade Song damage charges will harm enemies an additional 1d6 force damage, and your healing will heal you and your allies for 1d6 hit points. So we've already talked about how Blade Singing itself is stupid strong with Blade Song damage charges and everything. And how we can have a lot of fun with this to get a lot of really cool utility into the character on top of adding wizard levels into this combination of a 7 Eldritch Knight, 5 wizard, which then unlocks the door to any other spell I want to scribe. Now, the last thing too I want to just mention here to close our video out is that you don't even need to go into anything. You could just take 11 levels here into Eldritch Knight. It's going to get you all the way down to here, and then take a single level into Wizard, and then you can unlock every single spell from the Wizard spell list, not just Abjuration and Evocation, which allows you to scribe all the spells that you want as a Eldritch Knight. It is worth noting, though, that jumping to level 12 does grant you an additional feat. But it is also worth noting, too, that as a pure warrior, you have one more feat than any other class aside from, I don't know if Wizard gets it, but I know Rogue does. Rogue and Fighter both get 4 natural feats versus everyone else gets 3. So you get a lot of benefit just from going level 11 and getting 1 level into Wizard and still getting access to 3 feats, which is lovely. Also, you get Eldritch Strike at level 10. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it has disadvantage on its next saving throw against a spell you cast before the end of your next turn. So there's just so many ways that you can weave all this together. And I didn't even go into all of the possible combinations with gear and other things that you can play around with a bunch of thunder and resonance damage, like that cloak that does resonance and stacks all that. And resonance itself is a really, I don't think I talked about this enough, but here's resonance. Nope. I'm saying resonance. I'm thinking of reverberation. Sorry, guys. I know you'll correct me in the comments. When entity has 5 or more turns of reverb, it takes 1d4 thunder damage and must succeed a DC 10 Constitution saving throw or fall prone. And remember, if something is prone, cannot move or take actions, bonus actions, or reactions, and has disadvantage on strength and dex saving throws, attacks against prone creatures have advantage if they're made within 10 feet, and a prone creature must half its movement speed to stand up. So you can see how this is a really disgusting combination to be used with this cantrip, with the possible things that will stack reverb on a character: Boots of Storm and Clamor, Gloves of Belligerent Skies, Spine Shudder Amulet, Thunderskin Cloak, Ring of Spiteful Thunder, Ring of Absolute Force. There's just so much stuff that you can have fun with a really cool thunder-based character. Now you can make an Eldritch Knight that's like a tried and true Thor build. That's just 11 levels of Wizard, and just go absolutely apeshit with it. So I know thunder and lightning aren't the same, but there's not a lot of lightning interplay in this game, unfortunately. So go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. Are you in patch 8? Have you tried this stuff out? Does it work for you? What doesn't work for you? Go ahead and let me know. And I know this is actually like a pretty big coveted 5th edition Wombo combo that I had no idea about. So I'm really stoked to see how this all comes together and what kind of fun builds we're going to be able to use with it. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.